This is my breakfast this morning. I have a 7-point breakfast, and so I have the 100-calorie Thomas's English muffins, and I kind of made them into French toast with some egg white, and I have one slice of the Sargento ultra thin provolone. I've got one fried egg over easy with just a splash of actually a little bit of Pam, and then I've got just a little bit of avocado, and here's my top portion of that. So that's going to be a killer breakfast sandwich. And then I've got some ruby red grapefruit here, and that is my 7-point breakfast this morning. It is Friday morning, and I bet you're wondering where the rest of yesterday's vlog went. I didn't vlog yesterday. I didn't vlog my food. I just left it alone. But I am going to be honest and tell you what happened, because it was, and yesterday just totally went, I want to say awry, but it went totally different than what I had planned. But it was very insightful. So I'm going to share with you some of those things that I learned yesterday. I'm not perfect. You know, a lot of us, none of us are, right? We all have our little days and times where we have, moments of disappointment, dealing with disappointment video the day before, so I need to go back and watch that now. But I'm feeling okay now. I'm feeling okay. So anyway, what happened was, okay, I had a plastic bag sitting on the counter with 2 bags of chips in it. Those bags contained chips that I haven't had in a while. One I haven't had for a long while, which was a bag of Cheeto Puffs, which I've loved since I was a kid, so I especially try to stay away from those. And, you know, I can eat so many of those, and then I get kind of queasy, so, you know, it's just like, it's not a thrill, you know, once you start eating them. But for some reason, that bright color, and, you know, it brings back so many memories. And I know they make these things that way on purpose. Honestly, if it were bright green, I don't know if it would have the same draw for me, but for some reason that bright orange. Oh, here's the thing. Okay, now my background, I have a large background in art, and one of the things that I do know, I have to remember, is that the color orange stimulates your appetite. All right, so Cheetos are definitely dangerous, but for me, that stimulates your appetite, and then also the color like a burgundy or a dark red can also stimulate your appetite, just to let you know, as well as lime green, which is why you'll see both of those colors in restaurants and in eateries. So interesting point there. But anyway, the other bag was barbecue Lay's. My husband turned me on to those after we first got married, and I can kind of take them or leave them, but if they're open and I have some, the MSG in it just constantly calls me back. They're just too savory, and it's a real struggle. Okay, so I had them closed because what happened was they were my props for my next Smackdown video, right? So my next Smackdown video, I was actually going to destroy them. So as long as they're closed, I'm okay. But our eldest son, Calvin, dropped by because some days he'll come by to do some work with his dad. They're in the same they work for our company. And so he saw the chips, and I should have probably hid them because he's watching his food intake as well. He saw them and he said, are those chips? Can we open them? It's a real struggle for me to say, and I should have said, no, sweetie, those are from my Smackdown video. I don't want to open those because, and I said, well, I was going to destroy those, you know, they're in my video, but if you want them, you can have some. Let's open them up. So, and that I knew what was going to happen at that point. And so somebody opened them up. It's all a blur. I don't even remember who opened them, to tell you the truth. But so everyone had chips. The kids had chips with their sandwiches. Everybody had the chips. Everybody had them. By the end of the day, those 2 bags were empty, right? And granted, there's 7 of us. Thank goodness there's 7 of us who were in on it. And I did count them. I counted what I had, and I was over on points. I wasn't massively over yesterday, but it gets better. Okay. So the mindset of, I've already done something really bad today. Calvin had to get a new phone, right? Because it's associated with the business. He was having some problems, so he said, I want to go get a new phone. Can we get this set up? And I said, sure, okay. We agreed that I would go with him to get that set up. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I've mentioned before, our phone store is right next to Pink Box Donuts. And Pink Box Donuts is like one of my favorite kind of donut in town, right? Okay, so we went to deal with the phone situation, got it all set up and everything. Went into the car, sat down right in front. We're parked right in front of the donut place. And other times I've driven away, but Cal and I are foodies, and now I see that we need to watch it and be strong for each other when we're together. We both looked at each other, and I said, oh, man. I said, that smells so good. We could smell the donuts in the phone store the entire time, and it's lunchtime. It's past lunchtime, like 2 hours past lunchtime. Another dangerous signal I should have prepared for. But anyway, and we looked at each other, and he said, let's go. And I said, okay. I didn't even say okay. I just opened the door and walked out. And we went into the donut place. And I said, you're going to take some of these home to your roommates, right? I mean, if I get a dozen and you're going to take some, right? Because I don't want to have more than one donut that's in my, hands at home. And he said, yeah. Okay. So, here it's going wrong all over the place, right? We're just not being good for each other here. And so, we did. We picked amazing donuts, right? And we took them home, and we all kind of shared. Okay, now we already had the chip episode, right? We already had the chips. The chips are still going on, right? Because that was kind of like a rest of the day thing. But then we all had donuts, right? And so I counted my donuts too. I counted the donuts that I had. And as a result, I had to have a super small dinner and like no lunch, right? Because I was counting my points. But at the same time, the donuts stayed with me like until I went to sleep. And and of course they put me on some sort of a sugar low after a sugar high. And yes, we went to the gym and I tried to work it as much off as I could, but I know it wasn't working them off. But I tried to work out and try to be responsible because I did this, right? But, so now I know, one thing that hit me about this, and I'm not struggling with all this guilt and everything, so don't feel bad about that, but I don't want to do it again. I want to make sure that I think my next smackdown is actually going to be a donut, but I'm really considering dropping my added sugars. I really think that I need to get serious about that because what I'm finding is that, especially as I'm getting older, when I have added sugars like that, the higher the sugar that I have, my body goes into almost immediate inflammation, and I have to deal with all those repercussions. And also I get a stomach ache now. So that's very interesting. And then on top of that, we were thinking about it yesterday, and I told my husband, I said, you know what? I was thinking, I really there's my donut back there, I've always I love donuts, but why do I say that? Why do I say that I love donuts so much? Well, way back when I gave up, I had become a raw vegan at one time, and years and years ago, and I had dropped a lot of sugars, and I was having so many issues in my gastrointestinal tract. I didn't know that I had a certain type of infection in there, which I'm cleared of now. But it was a little serious. I thought, that it was the gluten that was causing the problems and the dairy that was causing the problems. I still do have a little problem with the dairy, but back then anyway. So I had avoided donuts for about 4 years. I didn't have any donuts. So because I didn't have them, I told myself in my mindset that I missed them so much because I wasn't having them. Oh, you miss donuts, you love donuts. And so I told myself, well, since they hurt when I have them, I'm just going to make an agreement with myself that on my deathbed, when it's time for me to go, I will have donuts as my last meal, since it won't matter then, right? I actually thought about this. And so, once when I got this, gastrointestinal problem all taken care of, and I was doing much better, I started having donuts again. And so, and now, but I thought, but is that really because I love donuts, or was it only because I couldn't have, or told myself I couldn't have them for so long? And I thought about it, I said, you know what, if I could really think about what dessert do I really, really love. I mean, donuts aren't, I don't have anything against them, and yeah, they're kind of fun sometimes. But if I could choose a dessert that would be like my favorite, right? I used to think, oh, it would be creme brulee. But it's not true. Creme brulee, I like the top part, which is just like the crusty part, the burnt sugar. But the rest of it, I could really take it or leave it. It's really, I end up eating it when I have had it just because I don't want to waste it and it's there. And it tastes okay. It's good. But I just want that crusty top. So it's not my favorite. Okay, so what is my favorite? Strangely enough, my favorite is an ambrosia type salad. Ambrosia. Or something like that. At Thanksgiving when somebody brings like one of those Jell-O marshmallow Cool Whip and fruit salads that is just like meant to be the accompaniment that they have on the table and nobody really touches, that's my favorite. That is my favorite dessert of all time. Go figure, and I don't know why, but it is. And, the good thing about that is I could make that extremely low in points and very low in sugar. So why am I not doing that? Why am I having donuts? Why aren't I having that? So anyway, it was a big epiphany for me, and I think I'm going to incorporate that a little bit more and give myself the okay to do it and back off of the donuts. Mind you, in 2 weeks, I still am doing the donut run, 5K in this town, but I'm already committed. I've already paid for it. I'm going to do that. But I think what I'm going to have to do is take down my donut, right? It's not my favorite anymore, right? And I need to put some space between this little guy, or this big guy, and myself. So what am I going to do with that? I guess can I put a picture of ambrosia up there? I don't know. Let's see what I have up there next. But I just wanted to share that with you because this is life, and life goes on. And I did not get my blue dot yesterday. I didn't get massively. It's like for some reason, I didn't make it over 30 points. But, most of my meals were the donut and chips. So there you go. I'm not feeling real good. Of course, I'm bloated today, and so now I'm showing you everything I have today. So stay tuned for the next one, and I can bet you the smackdown next time is going to be a donut. Love you guys. See you later.